for the aggressive investor, right? They think that they're better and they're smarter and then they can beat the average indexes. Because if they're doing the right research, they're buying the right stocks and they're investing in the right stocks, yes, they can beat the market. The problem with that is you cannot time the market and you cannot predict the market. So you can make the right decisions and then boom, COVID hits. All right, so we'll get started. Welcome to the Agent Q&A. Got your host here, John. We got special guest Albert. Joanne's not in for today. We got a couple of questions for the public that's been going on around, especially with social media. So Albert, first question to you. Can you define an annuity within, or what is an annuity within about like 1 minute, just for the common man to know about it?
For the layperson?
Yeah.
Well, annuity is a retirement. It's a product that people use for the retirement for their portfolio. It's generally started with a lump sum of cash or a lump sum of money. So it can be in a 401k, an IRA, something that can be rolled over into that retirement account. And what it does in a fixed index annuity, there's various types. There's a fixed annuity with a fixed rate. Mm-hmm. There's a fixed index annuity. There's a variable annuity. Fixed index annuity is what we generally focus on, so that you can capture some of the upside and then you don't participate in any of the downside. Yeah. So it allows you to build up your money. It tracks along with a index. So when the market goes up, you participate with that. The market goes down, it captures your downside, so you don't lose any money. So it'll allow you to be able to build a lifetime income with that. To be able to annuitize it,
right? And
just gives you distribution options to be able to have for the future. So it's a great versatile product for people in that market. Mm-hmm. And then the people in that market are people that don't understand retirement and not very risky and don't want to put their money directly in the market, right, and lose money, pay fees, all that other stuff.
Right. So from an agent standpoint, what licenses do you need to sell an annuity?
We get that question a lot. So a lot of times they're like, hey, do I need to get my Series 6 or 63 or 7 or 5,000 million or whatever it is?
Right.
So the great thing about our product with a fixed index annuity, mm-hmm, the thing is all you need is your life license to, mm-hmm, be able to transact that business.
Any certificates additional on top?
Yeah, there's the state annuity training with your respective states. I think a couple of states don't have one.
Wow.
Yeah. So those states are pretty simple, but I think you still need to get the NAIC in case you're trying to sell in a different state. NAIC is like a governing board of insurance commissioners through multiple states. So you do that, you should be able to sell in any other state aside from your home state, which you need to do your respective state training for.
Right. So for California, we require 2. I actually just did an annuity. There's a mandatory 8-hour one, which you only need to do once. Yeah. And I didn't know about the 4-hour one that you have to continue to do. There's a refresher course every year to 2 years.
But like California, we're more regulated than most other states, right, for a lot of stuff,
which is good because now you keep up to it. We've been doing this for a while. If you just took your annuity course, your certificate, and you learned about the first thing, what about the new things that are popping up now, right? So the refreshers are always there. So next question then, for going back to the annuity, who would you say is the right or perfect client for an annuity?
Oh, so an annuity, there's different annuity products out there. So one you can get immediate income. So you can just take that lump sum of money, they'll put it in, they'll annuitize it immediately, okay, create that lifetime income stream. And then they set the amount. There's a formula that they put it into. Based off of your age and how long they anticipate you to live. And then they'll set that amount and they'll start paying out to you for the rest of your life. Now, the great thing about annuity over a traditional retirement account, because let's say you had in a 401k and IRA,
yeah,
which a lot of people have.
Yeah.
So the thing is, if the market goes down, you take a hit, you lose some of your principal.
Right.
Okay? You're typically paying a 1% to 4% fee, to whoever's managing your money. And then if you start taking out periodic distributions from it, or you take out a lump sum from it, when you run out of money, you run out of money.
It doesn't continue.
It doesn't continue to replenish itself.
Right.
Right. And then when you're out, you're out. And that's one of the biggest things about retirement these days. It's not that people are dying too soon. It's actually that they're living longer than expected and they're outliving their resources. Right.
Yeah. That's the fear of like running out of money. So who is a type of client for an annuity? Anybody then, right?
Anybody, unless you're like trying to be really aggressive in the market and you really want, because if you're for the people that are big gamblers and they want to be able to invest and make a ton of money, like crypto bros or whatever, right? Like it's not the highest potential, just to be realistic about it, but it provides you with potential for upside and provide you with guaranteed safety and provide you with that lifetime income option for the future.
So if you're a client, are you aggressive? If you're aggressive, great. You can get the most bang for your buck. You can get the most aggressive returns in Bitcoin, stock market, high interest rate type of investments.
Yeah.
The issue to that, the drawback to that is you're prone to risk.
Yeah.
The stock, whatever you invested in can go down. So your principal will go down. Now, if you're the type of client that are, safe, they're less risk adverse, an annuity might be a great idea for you because your money will grow with the market, but it won't go down with the market. Is that correct?
Yep. And I think Sean Mike it's distracting.
Yeah.
But Sean Mike's he phrases it really well. He likes to ask the client, are you an investor or are you a saver?
Mm-hmm.
For a lot of people, they want to say I'm an investor, because sounds cool.
When the market was doing well, you're an investor, right?
Because you want to capture the upside and say,
yeah.
Being a saver sounds kind of just very mundane and boring.
Right.
But then the follow-up question is, they're like, what do you mean? I don't know the difference. If they say they're investors, say, so you're okay with losing money? And then most people will say, no, actually, I'm not okay with it. So you're a saver.
Yeah.
So then if we put into this product, it'll take care of that for you.
Yeah, if you're an investor, you're really aggressive with it. You're studying stocks, you're following patterns. But if you're a busy person, you're just going to work, you're taking care of your family, you're kind of putting this on the side. You're not investing a lot of time into your investment. An annuity might be a good and safe way for you because it will grow when the market grows. It will stop when the market, it'll flatline you when the market stops. Going into that, what are the positives and the negatives? What are the benefits of an FIA, which is a fixed indexed annuity, and a negative of an FIA?
Well, I mean, the positive of an FIA is that you can create a lifetime income.
Okay.
Which is unique for most of the retirement products, because
Mm-hmm.
once you turn it on, it'll pay out for as long as you live in it. That's the gamble the insurance company takes. Because the thing is, if you live to be 80, 85, 90, 100, if somehow you with Neuralink or whatever it is, you live to be 120 or 150 or 3,000 years old, they'll still have to keep paying you.
Right.
Once you turn on the lifetime income.
Right. So that's the positive, is that you will never run out of money. What would you say is a negative? Because there's got to be a catch. A lot of clients like, how can I not run out of money? How can I not lose money? What's the catch?
Well, I mean, the catch is, like, let's be clear about this. The insurance companies, they're not a nonprofit company.
Right.
They're definitely for profit. They're going to be making their money. So the thing is, what happens is you have a participation rate and a cap rate,
mm-hmm.
and how much you can earn. So they track along with the index, right?
Right.
So an index fund, for those who don't really understand what that is, it's a collection of stocks. It's a bundle of stocks that you purchase.
Mm-hmm.
So then it tracks along with how that goes. It's the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the BNP Paribas, the AI-powered Watson one, Bank of America. So if that goes well, if that particular index that they put into your crediting strategy goes up for the year or the 2 years in which it's set up, they'll credit you a percentage,
which is your participation rate, correct?
Or the cap rate. So whatever determines how much of that you're going to receive.
Let's use real numbers.
So you're not going to receive the entire full amount.
So let's say the market jumps up 20%.
Yeah.
Okay. If your participation rate or your cap rate is 10%,
yeah,
what would happen?
Then the most you can get is 10%.
Which is you've hit your cap.
Right.
Right. Even though the market goes 10, 11, 12, 20, 30, 40, you are going to get credited 10% to it.
Right. And the remaining other 10% that goes up, if it's 20% gain for that year, the insurance company keeps it.
They get their cut.
That's how they offset their ability to be able to prevent you from losing.
Right. So there's the benefit of the no loss of money, which is the floor then, right? So explain the floor. What is a floor in an annuity?
So the floor of the annuity is zero is the hero, right? That's what they always say.
Just what happened last year.
Yeah. So if you're tracking along with an index and it happens to go down for the year,
let's say it's negative 20% this time.
Yep. If you have your money directly invested into the market yourself,
mm-hmm.
you have it in an IRA, you have it in 401k, you have it invested directly into those stocks, you would have lost 20% in that particular scenario.
Yeah.
With an annuity, the thing is you're capped at your floor is zero. So then you would just stay at whatever you currently have. You won't lose any money. So you won't lose any of your principal. And there's no fee on top of that. Right.
So it's a positive, but for the aggressive investor, right? They think that they're better and they're smarter, and then they can beat the average indexes, because if they're doing the right research, they're buying the right stocks and they're investing in the right stocks, yes, they can beat the market. The problem with that is you cannot time the market and you cannot predict the market. So you can make the right decisions and then boom, COVID hits. No matter how great this company's stock is, there's no shipping. There's a variable that happens. The stock is plummeting. Or you got Bud Light, you got a new sponsor, and then boom, the stock goes down. Right? So what happens to your stock money? Well, your stock, it's not liquid. It's performing based on the market. So it can go up, it can go down, but it's not until you cash out, that's what you get out, right? So that's the great thing about an annuity. You're locked in gains year for year. So even when the market tanks, you're at zero. When the market gains, you gain. But the come next year, you've locked in that new principal. It starts back over. So you are capitalizing on your gains on that. And one of the great annuities out there that everyone has is Social Security, right? A lot of people think, oh man, annuities aren't great, but a lot of people, and unfortunately, most of the time, a lot of people just only rely on their Social Security as a retirement income. So having that on top of another annuity, on top of your pension and your plans and other things, this is really what's going to help you with your retirement.
Yeah, that's a good example of an annuity. Social Security, your pension, those company-sponsored retirement plans, like they're keeping a percentage that's going to your principal, and then they pay out till you die, basically.
Yeah. So if you're an individual, do you believe that your Social Security will take care of the rest of it for you? And if you don't, okay, then you got to diversify your retirement, right? What do you have going on for your retirement? Do you have an annuity? Do you have 401k at your work? Do you have a specific pension? Do you have a Roth IRA? All these little things that add up to your retirement in the future. But if you don't have anything, an annuity might be good because it's a slow growth process.
So to complete your that question, who is not right for? If you're trying to be super aggressive and you're trying to invest, that it may not be the right product for you if you're for whatever your particular needs are for how you perceive your money. But the thing is, you also can consider just doing a part of it.
Yes.
Like it doesn't have it never hurts to be diversified, you know, unless you're one of those all or nothing kind of guys.
Yeah.
Which you're taking that risk. So, I mean, that's genuinely you. That you know, annuity may not be the product, but you know, like we tell a lot of our clients, you know, they say like, hey, I have this product, and we're like, why don't we just do a portion of it?
Right.
And we start with a portion of it. We don't have to do the whole thing. If it gets you returns and it protects your money, it gives you the upside. If it does outperforms what you currently have it in, you know, then we can move the rest later.
Yeah. So you can always hedge a little bit and diversify it. So a funny story. I was just talking to my buddy, my college buddy. It was about 2 years ago. His job got bought out from another job. He still works in the same place at the dialysis. He's a nurse. And since it was a merger, he got to be able to move his current 401k in. And I told him, okay, let's do an annuity for you, you know, diversify your assets. He's heavy in with the crypto. He's made 6 figures with the crypto, right?
Still has 6 figures?
I don't know now. He said he's been dollar cost averaging. DOA, DCA. Buy more, it'll even out. So I did an annuity for him 2 years ago. Come to find out, I was checking on my annual statements for my clients, and his was surrendered. I never even knew. He canceled it. He's in our age. He's in his 30s. Family of, you know, with 2 kids, wife. And so I asked him, hey, did you cancel this or you moved this or you cashed out? And it was a funny thing because it happened in 2021. Now, you knew about 2022. 2022 had 0 gains, right? The market tanked. People were losing investments everywhere. So I just asked him because I didn't know what he did. I asked him, dude, did you time the market? Did you just cash out so you kept your cash? Because I'm thinking he's very smart about it. He said, he texted back saying, no, I moved it to a Naira. And he said, yeah, it kept going up and up and up. It's because he was aggressive. And then, 2022 hit. It kept going down and down and down. I'm all like, bro, I thought he was like, oh, maybe he did something smart. He did. He said, it's evening out again. And besides, I can't touch the money. It's from his workplace, right? So he said it's gonna go back up again. So it's not a bad deal. And I was like, okay, as long as you understand that. He was telling me, it's like, was I supposed to tell you if I canceled it or not? It's like, nah, bro, I just didn't want you to think that, you know, I did you wrong or I did the wrong move for you.
You were just trying to understand why he did it.
Right. So far he's okay with it. But yeah, he started off at like 85, 90,000. It got up to like 10 with the annuity, of course, with the premium bonus and the added, the added interest charges for the first year. But he canceled it. So there was a surrender fee about 2 years. So the good thing, there was no chargebacks. But because he canceled, it was within the surrender fees. he ate about like $5,000 to $6,000
of
fees,
value.
lost value. Yeah. But he moved it. He said it went way up and then plummeted back down.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, in those situations, if he's your homie,
yeah,
obviously he can do whatever he wants, but a little common courtesy wouldn't hurt.
Right. I was like, I always just wanted to know. Let me know next time. I would have told you. I thought he had a great idea. I was like, hey, man, you timed the market because you wouldn't have gained anything in 2022. But hopefully it's going to go back up sooner or later.
Well, speaking of that, I mean, Warren Buffett always talks about that principle, right?
Yeah.
He's big on index funds, which
yes,
Warren Buffett, I'm gonna say he's done okay for himself financially.
Right.
And he's done okay. So the thing is that he always talks about if with an index fund, it'll always outperform any individual investor, especially if you look over a 7-year period.
Yeah.
So the thing is, any 1 year, an investor could go and outguess it.
Mm-hmm.
They may have some insider information. Who knows what it is? Maybe they got tremendously lucky. Maybe they're actually good at it. But if you invest in an index fund versus moving your money around, investing in various asset classes and different things, generally the index fund will win over 7 years.
Yeah, he made a bet about it too, right? And he's never lost a bet.
Never.
He made a bet about like if any investor, hedge fund manager or whatever you're managing, I will wager you the bet. You do what you're doing, and I will invest in the next 10 years into an index fund. Let's see who wins at the end.
Well, it's like that one scene from Wolf of Wall Street with Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
But he's like, it's a woozy, it's a wazzy.
It's Fugazi.
It's fairy dust. You know,
all you have to do is keep them revolving.
And I mean, that literally is what it is. I mean, sure, do people do their research? Do people know a little about their companies? And, yeah, but you're guessing like everybody else. And I don't know. I mean, if you guys trust the government, because with all the insider trading and all the other stuff, not to get into all conspiracy stuff.
Yeah, it's true.
But you don't control what happens to a lot of these companies.
Right.
You can't guess.
Yeah. So like with stocks, man. So there's this, I follow like Reddit with Wall Street bets. You've heard of them, right? So their main thing is, man, sir, this is a casino. Because the stocks is like the casino. You can make as much as you want and lose everything. So you never know what's happening. If you're an investor, if you're aggressive, that's the best way. But if you want to slow roll and grow your money and think about retiring and using this money for retirement, you can't take too much risk, right?
Yeah, or if you want to set it and forget it and not have to continuously follow up and do your research and follow up with these companies. I mean, it's kind of a nice peace of mind to know.
Yes.
It's self-directed. It'll take care of itself. Over the course of time, you should make money.
Right. So what are the rules for an annuity? If I'm an individual, I have work, I have this, I have going on with my 401k. What are the rules? What are my age? What are these things? Who's the identifiable, suitable client?
Well, okay, so we get this question pretty often.
Yep.
So when people ask for help with an annuity, sometimes they're like, "Hey, my client has a 401k. Can we move it?"
Yeah. So before you continue, can you add in with all these things what is a qualified and non-qualified?
Sure. So a qualified fund means it's pre-tax.
Right. It's qualified to be taxed.
Yeah, it's qualified to be taxed later on. Qualifies for a certain status. So
okay.
So that means pre-tax money.
Yeah.
Non-qualified means it's post-tax money. So that's cash, something that's already been taxed on before.
Right.
So if you have in your checking or savings account, you just have a pile of money.
It's your liquid money already.
Yeah. So pre-tax, like a qualified fund, which is pre-tax, it's like 401k, 403b, 457a, whatever it may be, or IRA, something that's never been taxed on before. And people like to have those accounts in their portfolio to defer their taxes.
Right. Defer means you don't have to pay taxes while it grows, right? And while it grows interest.
And companies love it because they don't have to pay their employees in the meantime.
Yes.
So
it's a tax write-off for them too, right?
They're like, hey, let me just hold on to your money in the meantime and not pay you. And then it's a tax benefit for you because you don't have the money yet. We're punting it down the line.
Yeah, it lowers your tax bracket.
So I mean that's a difference between a qualified and non-qualified fund.
Okay.
Now, when people have a retirement fund, if it's a 401k, 403b, 457a pensions, whatever it may be, a lot of those are pre-tax. Most of those are pre-taxed.
Okay.
So then they ask how agents may come up and say, hey, is this eligible to roll? There's a couple of different things. Okay. So the first thing you got to find out is if they're over 59 and a half,
right,
they're automatically eligible to move.
Yeah. At 59 and a half, you're considered like a possible retiree. So you can do whatever you want with your money, qualified or not qualified.
No penalty fees, none of that stuff.
Right.
So you're free to move your money should you want to do it.
Right. Yep. And what's a penalty fee?
Penalty.
Let's say I'm 58 and I tried to do something with my current 401k. What's a penalty fee?
So that's the company penalizing you for withdrawing sooner than they anticipated you taking it out, because they want to be able to plan for how they can use your money.
Right. They want to grow your money.
Their overall money in the meantime.
Right.
And there's also tax qualifications if you just cash it out or you take it out on a loan or whatever it may be. So
there's two penalties, right?
Yes. Uncle Sam, don't forget.
Yeah. So you get taxed front end and it counts since you cashed it out. There's a penalty fee for cashing it out before your retirement age. And then the second part is you get taxed because whatever you took out now counts as income on top of whatever you earned. So come tax day, now you got to pay on that as well. Yeah, my sister actually did that one time. She worked for Harvard UCLA at the hospital, and they got a deal, sweet deal with the city work. You don't technically cash it out. You can borrow out of your retirement, and it's free as long as you pay it back. Well, she got a new job. she got a new job, applied, got approved, went to Kaiser. Well, she didn't do anything with that money. She never paid it back, so she got double taxed on it.
So she got hit with an early withdrawal fee too.
Yeah. So it kind of looks like a pre-penalty penalty tax. So going back to that, so 59.5, that's one way you can move your money. Right. And then another one would be.
And another way is if it becomes an orphan 401k. So if you're still currently working at that job, you can't move it if you're under 59.5.
Right.
Okay? Unless you receive special permission, which hardly happens because they want to keep your money.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing is, if you're under 59.5, but you've changed employment, you've retired, you no longer work at that same company, which that 401 or 403B or whatever's originated from, then you're eligible to move it. Right. It's orphan.
Yeah. So it's qualified to be rolled over. Right. So you can either roll it over to your new 401k, which grows compounding with together, or you're better off hedging it, roll it over to an annuity. So now you have a new 401k from your new job, then an annuity that builds separately.
Yeah. Which that happens a lot. A lot of times people, they started a 401k with a company, and then they changed jobs, which I don't know. We've been in the insurance industry for a long time. So, we're not used to the whole changing new career change, or, this job doesn't work. Let's try this other company. Let's try this other company. So we haven't really jumped around that much, but it does happen.
Yeah.
We see people change jobs. So if you started at a certain company, you have a certain amount built up in your 401k or whatever retirement account, and then you move, the thing is, it's still sitting there.
Yes.
You still have that money. But the thing is, the market goes down, you're losing money on it.
Mm-hmm.
You're paying a management fee. That they're being assessed management fees every year, whether you're losing or gaining money.
And you have zero control because it's an over 401k. You can't just call back to your old job. Hey, I want to move my assets and stuff, right?
Right. So what you can do is you can take over a little bit of control.
Yes.
And roll it over into an annuity.
And once you roll it over to an annuity, you can choose your index strategies as well, and that changes per year per year.
Which some people, maybe if they change jobs, from my experience, a lot of them don't even know that the money's still there.
Right.
Or they don't pay enough attention to it.
Right.
Or they think they probably have something, but then they don't know what's going to happen with it. And sometimes some people move into an IRA. So, the thing is, if you have money, you should explore your options.
Yes. Now, speaking of having money, so let's not talk about the qualified. Let's talk about non-qualified. We got people that ask a lot of these questions. Again, I got money in the bank and it's doing nothing for me. How much is the savings interest rate that you have? Would you have on your savings account? 0 point something?
2 if you're lucky.
Yeah. Right. So you got a client. What is the minimum needed to transfer for an annuity and the maximum? Is there a maximum?
Okay. So start with a minimum. Minimum's 10,000 with Athene. There's a few other carriers that can take monthly based on setting it up like a 401k or whatever it may be. But generally it's 10,000 to start.
Okay.
And it really doesn't benefit you to start with that much less anyway, because compounding interest is the key, right?
Right. So
if you can start with 10,000, that's the minimum. The maximum when it comes to a company with Athene, which is our primary carrier that we use for annuities, the number one annuity provider in the country.
Right.
But the maximum is supposed to be $1 million. Mm-hmm. But if you have more than $1 million, we could ask a rep over there and we can try to get an exception.
Yeah.
But if you have over $1 million, I assume you have a kind of a clue what you're doing.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hurt to explore your options with it.
Yeah, that's the good part. So Coronado, one of our guys that does a lot of annuities, he's really great at finding money. He's really great at creating and getting referrals from clients he's taking care of with an annuity. So anybody he says, that just got a divorce, got a lump sum payment from a settlement. Okay. I got a life insurance payout. Okay. If you just won the lotto, you don't know what to do with it. Well, they actually give you two options. You get the lump sum or you get an annuity. You get a lifetime income. I would do the lump sum and then buy my own annuity, right? And then you compound the annuity on that lump sum instead of like incremental yearly paid by the government. Right?
That's good advice to all the lottery future winners out there, which is almost nobody, none of you guys,
yes.
statistically speaking.
Right. But yeah, annuitize the lump sum. You'd make money right away and you still get free withdrawals and as much as withdrawals as you want. We didn't get to touch that, but most annuities, I know your assets and your money's not completely liquid, but they do give you protection just in case things happen. You get a 10% free withdrawal every year. Right? And you can tap into that and you can use more than enough. But that's where we also, from 10,000 to 1 million, we also mentioned you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. You got to diversify it. Anything else you'd like to add to the topic of annuities for any new agent or any client that are looking to get into it?
Yeah, it's actually not as complicated as one would think. I mean, there's a lot of like jargon and things that make it sound more complicated. And I think the biggest thing is like people get held up because they're like, hey, I know somebody that has his money.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, cool. I'll help you out with it. You know, if you're not on my team, then I'll take just a small split.
Right.
If you're on my team, I'll help you out anyway.
Right.
But then the thing is, I'm like, hey, let's go and get that going. Here's the training course or the 8-hour training or the whatever state training that you have. And you also do a product training with the carrier.
Yes.
So I send them the information and then generally they're just like, start it, realize it's not that fun,
it's too much.
Or it seems like overwhelming, and then they just stop doing it. I'm like, you're missing out on an opportunity for things like once you get rolling on it, it's actually not that hard.
Yeah.
It just the more difficult part is starting.
Yeah. Yeah. From Sean Ruggiero, we're already in the business of protecting families. We can also protect their financial capital with it, right? The human capital and the financial capital.
Yeah. And I actually want to add that to touch on that point. The thing is, we have a lot of agents that, they feel however they want to feel. They're emotional people and, they're people. So sometimes people get into this habit of like, oh, I want to make money, but I don't want to sell. I don't want to dial. I don't want to do all this other stuff, or I don't want to convince a client to buy a policy that they can't afford and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, first of all, that doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, you're looking at it with your own lens. But, here's the thing. Like if you're afraid of asking for money and it's getting them to commit to paying a month-to-month basis for a life insurance policy, I mean, an annuity should be relatively easy.
Yeah.
Because the thing about an annuity is it's a lump sum of money they already have.
Yep.
Sitting in another account
that could be losing money.
And all you got to do is do a simple rollover. They don't have to continue paying on month to month. It's just one-time rollover. You save them money. You potentially got them a bonus. There's a lot of different options that you helped them out with. And, it's a good way it's a good alternative to insurance sales, like a traditional life insurance policy sale.
Yeah.
To be able to do that. So
yeah, you can just go up to the client and says, do you have a retirement account that's losing money? I can put it in a protected vehicle that won't lose your principal, and you can still capitalize in the market. That's what annuity is.
And you don't have to pay anything.
No, you just move your money from the right side of your pocket to your left side of your pocket, and it doesn't lose money. That's it. That's all we have for the annuity part. Do you have any questions, Derek?
Actually,
go ahead.
For someone getting into the IUL side of things, what would be, you think, the first step as far as like, what's like the baseline knowledge you think you need to know before you start going into like IUL appointments, or like, I mean, would you just direct somebody straight to, ask a specialist, or is there some type of like baseline knowledge you would want agents to have? If that makes sense.
Yeah. For the IUL, what's the agent's motive right now? Right. So let's say they want to get into it. They don't care about final expense. Do they already have experience of final expense and they want to level up with it, or they just want to go straight to it?
Yeah, they want to level up with it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So, I mean, start selling IULEs first. That's the basics.
Real easy way to do it.
Real easy, right? You understand it's a permanent plan, but it's cheaper. Qualify. It's harder to qualify. Just set them up to make sure that when you're doing IULs, a lot of them, specifically the high interest rate types, are going to be fully underwritten. Mm-hmm. And just make sure that you set up the expectation that you sell this today, you're not going to get paid on it tomorrow. You're going to get paid on it 2-3 months from now.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing.
I would also add, for that agent that wants to get into IULs, let's look at the situation. If it's a one-off thing, if it's just like, hey, my friend's mom wants to get this policy, or have a guy that's a barber, he's got a ton of money, doesn't know what to do with his money. Yeah. So if that's the case, ask somebody for help. Because if it's a one-off thing, then they can walk you through the process, give you the basics. Maybe for us, we'll even hop on with an agent if they really need to present it and they don't know how to do it. If it's not a one-off thing, if it's someone that really wants to understand that process and do it ongoing because they want to level up and add that to their total repertoire, you got to do the work. You got to put in some research. Yeah, there's tons of material out there. There's the weekly training calls. There's a ton of materials on the AMS or SRS now, the simple retirement solutions. Yeah. So I mean, there's this huge library of different things on our elite site.
Yeah.
Just learn the basics of it, and then once you get that, then start talking to people that have actually done it.
Yeah.
And once you start talking about it, then you realize you actually know more than you actually think, because you got to get it out.
Yeah, I think you would start preaching to parents for their kids. So that'd be a great way to start learning. So you don't have to deal with a lot of the underwriting side. So you tell the parent, hey, look, you got $100, $200 a month, investing it on your kids instead of a whole life. You do an IUL. You learn about how the cost of insurance is less. It's going to build up cash value. It can be a good retirement plan for them or a down payment on the house, right? So
that's actually a good idea.
Keep it simple. And then more importantly, you'll get to learn which carrier does what, interest rates and underwriting, and more importantly, get contracted. Because most of these companies and carriers, you need to have an application. You need to have a live sale to get contracted.
So you wouldn't be able to run an illustration then unless you're contracted with them already, right?
Well, so that's where FFL and AMS or the asset specialist will send you an illustration. They'll send you an illustration. After they send you an illustration, they normally will send you contracting links.
Okay. So it'd be like basically a guaranteed 2 appointment sale, or whatever,
or something legitimate in the works. The reason for that is because it costs carriers money to appoint an agent. They have to pay for their appointment fee with the state, all this other stuff. And then a lot of times agents say, like, hey, I want to get contracted with every single carrier out there, so I'm gonna make sure I'm prepared.
They don't work.
And then they don't ever sell a policy or do anything. So it's actually costing the insurance carrier money. So
got it.
That's the reason for that.
Cool.
Yeah. Any other questions? We're good? So Ray has a question here. How much is it for an IUL when you start selling the concept of, it could be a down payment on a house, it could be a retirement in the future. How much is it? The question would be, well, how much do you want to invest? Okay, because the way the IUL is set up, it's a flexible premium, adjustable life. Less life coverage with higher premiums means more cash value builds up, right? So this is where it's a great thing for the kids, because one, you'll have a 1-year-old or a 5-year-old. You get them up, you're paying $200 a month. Their cost of insurance is going to be really low. It's going to be max funded. And more importantly, you got the 1 to 30, 29 years to compound the interest. So it'll add up. And how much will it get? That's where the illustrations will come in. Yeah, so you can always set up an illustration. So once you're contracted with the carriers, you can then call the carriers directly and they can walk you through what do you call it? An illustration setup.
Yeah, and I just want to reiterate, I mean, we've said this before, an IUL may not necessarily be for everybody.
Yeah.
So the thing is, instead of saying, how much do you want to invest? I always say, how much do you want to put aside for this? If they say like, hey, how do I get an IUL, or heard about that be your own bank concept and all this other stuff. I'm like, well, how much can you put aside? They're like $50. I'm like, it's probably not for you.
Yeah.
Because it won't do anything because of, as John
cost of insurance goes up.
Cost of insurance, the fees, all that stuff. It's not going to make any sense.
Yeah. And then when you got clients in their 50s, 60s saying, yeah, I want to put $100 a month. Get out of here, man. You're retiring in 5 years. You're trying to save $1,200 a year with the cost of insurance. No, it's not for you.
Sometimes you got to put people back into reality.
Yeah. You think this is for your retirement? You want to put $50 a month? Quite right questions with the right, hit them in the light bulb. So yeah, that's pretty much it that we have. This is going to be saved. It's going to be on the YouTube. Look for FFL Elite Clips. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.